Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's 100% Metroid Fusion. In the last part, we cleared up Sector 5 and 6, and now something's going on in Sector 3 apparently, so let's go talk to Adam and figure out what the hell's going on because this thing's loud and I don't like it.
Emergency in Sector 3. The area could melt down soon. It seems the main boiler's cooling unit is malfunctioning. This could easily destroy the entire research station, as it would likely trigger the auto-destruct explosives. We have about 6 minutes. Hurry to Sector 3 and access the control room to the side of the main boiler room. Most of the systems in Pier are down because of this. Again, we know who to blame. The SAX must have hacked into the system control file. What impressive intelligence. Is your objective clear?
Kinda.
There's little time. Hurry to the control room in Sector 3.
Okay, we have a time limit. So we need to get the hell over there. Thankfully, the 6 minutes, while it looks like very little, is actually more than enough to get there. I'd say they would have cut it a bit tighter if they gave you 4 minutes instead, but I am entirely fine with having leeway for this. Because timer sections always induce a certain kind of stress on the player, even if it's a game they've played before and know where the hell they have to go. But that's just the nature of having a limited amount of time to do a certain task, you know? Either way, the boiler room is actually very easy to get to. If you remember the vertical shaft to the far right of Pier, Sector 3 rather, I hate calling them by their acronyms. It's there. We just have to go down to the bottom where I got that missile tank earlier. Sadly, you still have to do some redundant exploration, but in the long run, it's actually a very easy area to get to. Just jump down here. And we are basically there. Once you see the things start to look melty, you're there. Just head left. These are superheated areas, though, so you need the Various suit. Mind you, it's kind of impossible to have the Various suit, not have the Various suit by this point, so... See, look, we're over halfway to the destination, and only an in-game minute has passed, so we're pretty good. I'm not sure if the seconds are exact seconds. It looks like they are, though, just by looking at my timeline timer and the in-game timer, though. Yeah, that looks like about 1 for 1, a second for a second. You do need to be careful, though, because sometimes you need to use an enemy to get up to a certain platform, but I think that's the only case right there where that actually happens. Also, if I recall, at least this portion of it right here, I think this is the only time we ever visit this portion of the station, because during the giant cleanup you have to do for 100% later on, we have to come towards this direction for like one missile tank, I think it is. But that's it. Like, we never have to go this far over again, which is surprising. You'd think they would have hid something over here. Mind you, I guess given the out-of-the-way nature you have to go for 100% anyway, they probably thought, maybe that's a bit too far, you know? I wonder, though, if it is remotely possible, if you can somehow get to this point without having the Various suits. If with the amount of energy tanks I have, if it's even possible to make it through all those superheated rooms. Oh, and hi, Ghidorah, and I finally remember your name. Your name is Ghidorah X. Yay. Let's see who you're hiding. The boss controlling the main boiler is... a fat man. Sir, gonna need you to stop that. Okay, you're a Beam Core X. Okay. Well, you know how to deal with these things by now. Sit up here and shoot down. I think they may have done that intentionally, though, because if you had to face a more intense boss, that time limit could probably be really tight. And for beating him, we get the Wide Beam, which widens our beam dramatically. This is kind of the Metroid Fusion equivalent to the Spazer from Metroids 2 and 3. But now let's get this boiler back online. Cooling unit operational in less than half the time allotted to us. So yeah, 4 minutes would have cut it a bit closer. I think that would have been the better time limit, but I'm fine with having the 6. But yeah, the Wide Beam is awesome. It's very powerful. I think it ups your damage by 1 again, which is more than enough to kill a lot more enemies. And the charge slash is still underneath your beam, meaning you are really powerful. Also, despite having the Various suit as you just saw there, we still get damaged by lava. Well, first off, that makes sense because, you know, lava is extremely hot. But it also kind of makes sense in some levels because the way some Metroid games treat it is that there are 2 types of environmental water like that. Well, 3 if you count water itself. There is lava, and then there is acid. Fusion only has the former of those 2. But acid, in the case of Super Metroid, was... let me restart that part of the sentence. Acid would still damage you in the various suit in Super Metroid, whereas lava wouldn't. Mind you, it could very well be that the fusion suit is also thinner and less viable as a heat protector than the power suit could be. And now I'm going out of my way to come over here again, because there's 2 more items I can get over here. Yet again, like with the first time it came down to get that missile, it is potentially faster, in fact very much so faster, for you to come here later on for these, because we'll be getting more items over here later on anyway. I'm just doing this now because as early as possible is my kind of thing with this. The way we have to get the 2 things in here is that you actually have to freeze these novas and stand on them, because the platforms they are standing on are made of the crumble blocks. So, in order to get the energy tank and missile tank over here, you need to do that. Also, I believe that is our 10th energy tank. Is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 10. And that actually is the last one in that row, because they didn't want to clutter the HUD too much. There is actually a space between the missiles and the energy tank. Whee! Ow! I love doing that. I love doing that so much. Shine sparking is really fun when you get it done right. Reminds me of that one at the very end of Zero Mission that I've only gotten right like twice, where you have to do the Morph Ball one. That's really fun. Either way, now that we actually have super missiles, we can get through this little blob guy to go through this direction. You could actually potentially have gotten to the boiler room using that route too, I believe. I just don't do it because I'm more comfortable doing it the other way, and plus I think it's just a little bit faster. Not by much, but a little. Also, now that we have the Varia suit, I can come over here to get some more items too. There are, I think, 2 expansions this way. Yet again, if you're going the speedrun route, it is faster to get these later on. Though thinking about collections, it is very odd because I think at this point in the game, I have almost as many missiles and energy tanks, if not more, than I did at the end of my main runs of these games. At least missiles for a fact. I think energy tanks I had maybe 12 by the end of my first 2 runs of Fusion. And that really is weird for me, because the reason I am redoing this and eventually Zero Mission is because they're the only games I didn't 100% in their original run, and that just felt wrong, you know? I'll also go this way for the energy tank. Because every other game I play, outside of a few exceptions, I basically try to 100%, so the fact that I never did for those was always just kind of weird. Also, this is me realizing, wait, there's another way around that. That's infinitely more satisfying at that. Because I will always love doing this more than just going through that. And I think I still save time by doing this too. Metroid games are always a bit more satisfying, though, when you're speedrunning them, to me. I mean, sure, there are some games I can do an essential speedrun for and 100% at the same time, like Super, but for this and Zero Mission, speedrunning has always been a bit more entertaining to me due to the way that the games are set up. Either way, now that we've resolved that whole boiler room incident, let's first off do a save. And let's see what Adam has for us next.
The X named a crew member. It all makes sense now. The X can absorb the memories and knowledge of their prey. What an astounding find. HQ was very impressed. But don't you find it strange? This could have destroyed the station with the X in it, not to mention the SA-X. Unusual for self-preserving species like the X. Unless... your presence is an even greater threat. A threat to the existence of X elsewhere. This is only a hypothesis. Perhaps. Their survival instinct is in conflict with their newly borrowed intelligence. Don't let your guard down yet. The X are still a threat. Samus, I see biosigns on the habitation deck. Survivors? The infected crewmen you saw had survived until recently. Maybe there's a chance. The signs emanate from here. Is your objective clear?
Yep.
I've just restored power to the main elevator. Use it to return and look for any survivors.
So now that we've explored all 6 sectors, rather, we can finally get back up to the main deck. This was actually a very satisfying moment for me when I first played through, because after being stuck in Sector 6 for so long as a kid, I was like, I'm back here. It's been so long. Not that we're gonna be doing too much up there. I can barely think of any items we get up there, honestly, but it's cool. I really like that elevator sound, by the way. Oh yeah, the SAX kind of blew shit up here, didn't he? But we can actually use that to our advantage. You see, there's just enough room here for you to actually build up a speed boost and whammo into a missile tank. I'm kind of glad the SAX didn't pick that up because we don't need it using more missiles. Does the SAX even use real missiles, or is it actually just like using organic matter? And I screwed that up. You're supposed to speed boost through that. Whoops. Also, here's a hidden little thing. I didn't know this was here until about 2 years ago. We can't do anything with it until later, but it's there, and that's cool. I love finding stuff like that. I could head over into there, but nah, let's focus on our actual goal. Hey, Adam. Bye, Adam. Seriously, though, how are staff supposed to get around this? What is this thing uneven? What? That's a big thing. We can't do anything about that until way later. Well, let's head up to the observation deck, I suppose. Well, no, this isn't the observation deck. This is the, habitation deck. There we go. I think that technically means this is where the staff lived. Which, you know, sucks to suck if they're all dead. But this area is actually kind of interesting. We're in a 3-tall, little thing, what's the word? Shaft. And to the left is, I think it's either a 3x3 or a 3x4 room. We need to get to the bottom left from the top right. Whoa, wait a second. Those are the Etacoons and Dechoras from Zebes. How the hell did they get here? Well, actually, I suppose that's kind of obvious. I guess the Galactic Federation probably picked them up. They are technically an endangered species, so I could see any government doing that. And over here we have a missile tank. You could potentially just head into this room first, but then you'd just be wasting some of your time. Jump up here. And now let's get the hell out there by using these guys to our advantage. And let's see what we can do over here. Lock disengaged, gate opening. Yeah, look at them. There's even a little baby Dechora. Ah, it's so cute. It's a baby chicken. Whoa, there they go. Okay, bye. Don't get infected. And with that, I guess let's head back down to the navigation room. The closest one is the one on the way to the sectors. Also, you might notice this part's a bit shorter than the rest have been, but that's mostly just due to recording stuff. Etacoons and Dechoras. I've met these intelligent beings before. They seem to recognize me as well. How unusual to meet again here. In the past, they've helped me unleash abilities I didn't know I had, but where did they run to? I hope they're safe. Yeah, this isn't the real kind of place to be running around without a goal. Or to be running around in general. Or to be anywhere in the vicinity of, because really this place is really... It's a Resident Evil game in space, actually, in some form or manner. Actually, a Metroid Resident Evil crossover. I would play that, especially if it was like, just a Metroid game with a Resident Evil 4 gameplay style. I would play that.
So the survivors were not human. Most unfortunate. We can now confirm the deaths of all crew members. I imagined this was the case, but I had hoped it wasn't so. I believe the X only infected the humans for knowledge. That form is too weak for battle. I'm sure the others are merely food for the X. Samus, I think they're evolving, growing stronger. Some are now appearing that resist your current weapons. HQ anticipated this and sent power bomb data as soon as the hardware team finished it. Is your objective clear?
Yeah.
Download it immediately. Our choice of data rooms is limited to this one in Sector 5. Go, now.
We leave the sectors and we have to go right back in. Great. But with that, I'm going to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 7, we'll be heading back down to Sector 5 to get the power bomb data and seeing where that can lead us from there. See you guys then.